My name is Santiago Marquez, and I must leave a record of what I've experienced before it's too late. I know it sounds absurd, like the ravings of a paranoid man, but whoever hears these words, I beg you, please listen. It all began 3 months ago, on a rainy night downtown. I had just left work, looking for a distraction to clear my mind. When I passed the bookstore, I didn't recall ever seeing before. It was a narrow, shadowy place, with display windows filled with dusty, faded books. A place so dark that had it not been for the rain, I would never have entered. In the dim light, while browsing a shelf, my attention was drawn to a small, aged book, mold-covered, with no title on the cover. I opened it, and there, on the first page, I found the name, The Watcher's Judgment. The title echoed in my mind like a whisper. I don't know why, but I felt an irrational urge to own it. I paid the bookseller, a pale man with an expressionless gaze, and left the store with the book wrapped in strange black paper that felt unusually cold to the touch. That night I began to read. The first pages described an ancient belief in a being known as Xanoth'Zal, the Watcher of the Abyss. That name, I can't describe what I felt upon reading it. It was like a flash of understanding pierced through me, an undeniable dark certainty. According to the book, Xanoth'Zal is a cosmic entity that observes all existence from the unfathomable depths of the abyss, endowed with 1,000,000 eyes that judge every action, every thought, of every living being in every corner of the universe. The words began to seep into my mind, even when I wasn't reading. I found myself unable to focus on anything else. My job, my relationships, everything faded as I spent night after night immersed in its pages, captivated by the tale of an ancient cult that claimed they could see through Xanoth'Zal's eyes. The obsession consumed me until I began to feel watched, constantly. At first I blamed exhaustion. Mere shadows, barely perceptible, moved around me, in the corners of rooms, like fleeting glances. I began to notice that in mirrors, my eyes looked strange. Somewhere deep in my mind, something dark and ancient stirred, and an image of countless eyes staring at me became burned into my memory. That's when I heard it. A whisper. Not a normal one, but a high-pitched shrill sound, like dry wind scraping between the words of the book. It said my name. From that night on, everything changed, as I couldn't look anyone in the eye without feeling I was being watched, as if everyone carried the same relentless gaze. Xanoth'Zal's gaze. I couldn't stand the silence because the silence was full of whispers, of my name, of incomprehensible words emerging from the walls, from the shadows, from within me. I decided to get rid of the book. I threw it into the river that cuts through the city, but the moment I did, I felt I had made a mistake. It was as if a void had opened inside me, an absence that could never be filled. That night, I dreamed of Xanoth'Zal, or perhaps it wasn't a dream. I was in a vast space, a dark, endless abyss. All around me were millions of eyes, each larger than the last, each deeper, more intense. In that place, I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. I knew I was being judged. I knew every one of my actions had been recorded, that my life was nothing but a tiny speck, a stain within Xanoth'Zal's immense vision. When I awoke, a shiver ran down my spine, a sign that something had irrevocably changed. The nightmare faded, but it left a mark, the certainty that there was no going back. My fate had taken a dark and unexpected turn. Since that day, those eyes, the same ones that haunted my dreams, doth follow me everywhere, piercing my soul and examining my every move. I try not to look. I avert my gaze, focus on the mundane to escape the constant scrutiny. But I know they're there, always. In every mirror, I catch a glimpse of that stare, a silent judgment that keeps me awake. In every shadow cast around me, in every dark corner, I sense its presence. And most disturbing of all, in the eyes of strangers on the street, in the fleeting glances of passers-by, I see a reflection of that same condemnation, an echo of a judgment that seems suspended in the air. There is no escape from its relentless gaze. It has become my shadow, my silent torment, a constant reminder of an error or a sentence I've yet to comprehend. I live in a state of perpetual surveillance, a prisoner of eyes that, though invisible to the world, consume me from within, eroding my peace and sanity. Every day is a battle, a futile attempt to free myself from this unseen watcher that follows me without rest. A reminder that my old life is over and the new one has begun, marked by fear or guilt. If you're hearing this, if you ever find that cursed book, The Watcher's Judgment, destroy it. Don't read its words. Because once you know that Xanoth'Zal's eyes are upon you, once you feel its gaze deep within your soul, there is no escape. Like me, you'll be trapped, a prisoner of that eternal gaze that judges everything in every corner of the universe. And perhaps, you will no longer be the one who watches.
Subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss the stories.